book that truth is treason in an empire.
Lies.
Truth is treason in an empire lies, and I think that's where we are today. Everything is based on telling these lies and fibs about what's going on. But if we don't do something, though, this is going to get much, much worse. We have to produce, we have to work, and right now we're working less and producing less. So for me, understanding what liberty is all about is so important. Because yes, America we do know something about it, but we've been really very careless about it. We had great prosperity come from our free market system. And we had the largest middle class, the most wealthy country ever. Today, I don't think that is the case. We're getting poorer and a smaller middle class. And if we don't understand that, though, then how are we going to rebuild it? But this is where we should be very positive about what's happening. And for this reason, I have emphasized, the educational part. Matter of fact, just recently announced that one thing that I want to do now that I'm out of Congress is to help a little competition in education. So, they can ask me about my position in education. As a congressman, I can speak as a federal official. And that is, well, it's very clear. There's no authority in the Constitution for the federal government to be involved in education at all. So get rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah!
But there's no prohibition for the governments, the local governments, to be involved in education. And my family, my kids, and others, and we have a lot of teachers in our family, so I don't attack the public school system, but we have problems. We have problems in education. We have problems with safety in the schools. We have problems because of the curriculum and the takeover and the nationalization of education. So what I'm offering, if you care, you can look up RonPaulCurriculum.com. I'm going to propose a curriculum and have it and try to get people to provide a little bit of competition, in education. That's what we need.
Know the common core.
When governments get bigger, whether it's for economic reasons or bigger because of a foreign policy that we fight wars and spend money, it also breeds a careless attitude about our civil liberties. Over the years, what we did on economics is we got careless. We had so much prosperity, we concentrated on redistribution. And that is what bred this whole system of lobbyists in Washington. So it's much more lucrative to have a high-paid lobbyist to go to Washington and get a contract or get the tax code changed than it is to go to work. So we concentrated on that. Now the production is down, and we're not so wealthy anymore. That over these many years when we had such prosperity, I think our main fault was we got overly concerned about the materialism and the wealth that it produced, and we forgot about the basic fundamentals of what a free society is all about. A free society starts with individuals. Individuals have freedom because we have rights and we have life given to us by a creator, and therefore everything comes from that. If we have a right to life and right to liberty, we have a right to property and the fruits of our labor. And we have a government that should be limited to protection of those lives and liberty.
Yeah.
But I think we have to be very precise about the protection of life. I associate and call libertarian very often. There are some libertarians who have a different attitude. But I think all life is precious. If you can't protect a life of an infant that is a day or a week or a month before birth, just as if it was a day or a month old, then you get careless. You get careless about economic activities, you get careless about going to war, but you get careless about protecting life and protecting liberty. And of course, that I think is the goal. Today, we have a systematic attack on our civil liberties. In my farewell speech in Congress, I listed the top problem that we have is the attack on our civil liberties, our First Amendment rights, because I think it's the most important. If we can't meet together and talk and try to work through our parties and change the system, and there's this bearing down, either because of the encroachment of the government on meetings and our expression, that's going to be very, 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 very important. So this is what we have to recognize, that this is available to us. But now we live in an age where governments take over. After the 9/11, there were a lot of laws passed that encroached on our personal liberties, everything from the Patriot Act on down. It was just a severe encroachment of our civil liberties. And one problem with endorsing civil liberties in the sense, it's your life, do what you want, whatever you do, it's okay, just don't hurt anyone. Oh no. People will say, oh no, he might misuse his civil liberties. He might do things that are morally wrong and I don't endorse and have a lifestyle I don't like, so therefore we have to have government to regulate that. Well, that's the justification for regulating economic life. So we've ended up with a group wanting to regulate economic life and another group regulating to make a person a better person. And you say, well, you have to have some of that. You have to have some rules. But we don't in religion. We have freedom of religion. Think and freedom of intellectual pursuits. And just think how many hundreds of millions of people have died with bizarre religious beliefs and bizarre economic and political beliefs. And that compared to personal habits is really very minor. So I think that the problem so often is if you say people ought to be able to live the life as they choose, look at it in a religious sense, they do, and we allow it. We don't try to regulate it. But if we allow them to do it, one reason what happens is people will come along and say, oh, if I say he can do such and such, that means I've endorsed that. No, it doesn't. I mean, if I give you your economic freedom and say it's your money, spend it the way you want, and you waste it or make a bad business deal, that doesn't mean I'm responsible for that or I endorsed. What if I allowed you to gamble? You went and spent your money and you gambled and you wasted it. I didn't endorse that. The same way. It means that freedom requires a certain amount of tolerance of other people as long as you have some strict rules. No violations of another person's rights, no violation of another person or another person's rights.
Yeah! Woo!
I think it's a wonderful message. It's a message, it's not my message, it's not Ron Paul's message. This has been developed since 1215 with the Magna Carta on the importance of it. And we're eroding some of the principles, and habeas corpus all the way back to that. So it isn't new, but we've had a tremendous development of this concept in this country, and yet I think we're losing it. We've lost confidence in our belief and our conviction in what freedom is all about. And we need our confidence back. But what is very important now is there's a receptive audience out there. I said communism has failed and Keynesianism is going to fail. Guess what? What's it going to be replaced with? There's a failure out there. And millions of people know it. And I think the young people especially sense that there's a problem. They're not having the same opportunities as some of us had. I mean, I remember for years you had a degree in chemical engineering, you had an automatic job, every place, any place. But that's not the case. So they sense there's something wrong. So they're looking for something. So we don't have to invent it. It's been there. We can refine it. We can improve upon it. The gold standard is a good idea, but there's never been a perfect gold standard. Even ours was good. But you can always advance the cause of personal liberty, the personal understanding of economic policy. But the other thing that's so magnificent about this message is it brings people together. And if you're in a political environment and you want to bring people together, we're in the Republican Party and we are stereotyped. We're stereotyped by being conservative, both in social values and economic values and low taxes and all. But we're not the majority. So how are we going to bring people together? This is a message that brings people together. Freedom is truly popular, which means we have to allow people to use their freedom the way they want. And just keep thinking about religion. We allow people to use their religion or no religion at all. It brings together. I have found that the college campuses, whether it's Texas A&M or whether it's Berkeley campus, the reception is exceptionally good because it's not threatening, it's not intimidating, it's not like I want to take over, I don't want to run your life, I don't want to run, and I insist those who don't want their lives run, that they don't run our pocketbooks and run our economic lives either. And, liberties is fantastic because once you understand it, everybody believes in civil liberties because that's what freedom is all about. And if I look at another thing that seems to have energized so many, and that is the change in our foreign policy. I mean, and it's not like I'm inventing it. It's not like it's un-Republican. I mean, we can cite Eisenhower and the many Republicans, Robert Taft and many individuals who didn't want to go to these wars. We used to be the party that opposed the wars. So it is very, very popular. It's very, very necessary too. Now we can work our way out. I suspect we're going to get times are going to be much tougher. I think we're going to move down the road. We don't have enough people there to sustain and just start voting for less spending. So we're going to have some more disruption. But where I'm really energized is with the number of people around the country now who are understanding the concept of liberty, a different foreign policy, sound monetary policy, the understanding of civil liberties, and I believe that people will come together on that issue. It is the American spirit. I personally believe that my goal, and for most other people, that our purpose in life is to seek personal excellence and virtue. And governments can't do that for us. They can't make us work or be better people. They can't make us study. They can't do anything. But they're trying to. Just recently this week we heard some of the liberals talking about parents don't have the obligation of caring for the children. The government has to be the parent. Well, that's not the truth. The truth is the parents are responsible for their children.
Yeah.
We can bring people together.